Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back. So a couple days ago, I did put out a video going over the first 3 days of what the Temtem devs are calling the Golden Week of spoilers. And in that video, I had said there'd be 4 more. I was actually wrong. These are working days. Someone in the comments, I can't remember what your name is, but thank you very much for bringing that to my attention. So there's 2 more to get through. If you didn't see that video already, definitely check it out. We have been confirmed that there will be increased Luma odds. We got more information about how some of the trainers are going to be optional now, so the game's not as grindy. They talked about Temtem Showdown, which is like this battle simulator that acts like Pokemon Showdown, but will affect your competitive. So basically, there's like 0 barrier to entry to the competitive scene and stuff like that. Today, we got 2 more things to get through. I have not read them yet. We're going to be doing this together. It's going to be a big sort of just me reading and reacting to certain things. So if that's your jam, get ready. If not, got lots of other videos for you that are in a more scripted fashion. But anyways, let's dive in. Golden Week of Spoilers, Day 4, Tamer's Paradise and Feathers. Tamer's Paradise, interesting. Hello, Tamers. Welcome to our 4th day of our Golden Week, a celebration of 1.0 content and improvement. As the week ends, we're getting ready to bring out the big guns. Today, we'll be talking about the very rumored, very expected, center of endgame activities, Tamer Paradise, as well as Feathers. This content is planned to arrive with 1.0, and today, for a change, I have no disclaimer to make. Let's dig in. So, welcome to Tamer's Paradise. Been spending most of their lives living in Tamer's Paradise. In the 1.0 patch, we're introducing the last island in the archipelago, Tamer's Paradise, also previously referred to as the Endgame Island. So this is their Battle Frontier equivalent, if you didn't know that was going to be a thing. This man-made resort will be the delight of most experienced tamers, holding new activities and a whole new economy with more reliable rewards. Your way into the Tamer's Paradise will be tied up to a new quest you'll start after the credits roll. The resort will feature 6 weekly, more on this later, new activities to represent 6 facilities. Ooh, this is pretty spicy. 1 more than Gen 4, 1 less than Gen 3. We still don't have definitive names for the activities, so we'll explain them in their prototype names. Arch Tamers. After completing the Arch Tamer side quest, all 4 of them will move to a new facility, and you'll be able to rematch them on a weekly basis. This is pretty similar to our current dojo rematches with a twist. In order to defeat the Arch Tamers, you're going to have to defeat them all consecutively, while using the same competitive team. Your team will be healed in between matches, but you won't be able to change any Tems or gears. Best of luck. Draft. Forget about your current Tem squad. In this, you'll be able to create a all-new 4 Tem squad from scratch and constantly adapt it. You'll be presented with 4 Tem choices and 4 gear choices. Once you make your selection, you'll be presented with 4 other Tem and gears and repeat, etc., etc., etc. Basically, the Battle Factory from Pokemon, if you don't know. Each time you defeat a rival, you'll get to keep one of their Tems and replace them with one of yours, and then a new stronger rival will appear. How many rivals will you be able to defeat? So, Battle Factory from Pokemon. Definitely a fan favorite. Tower. Similar to the draft activity, in fact, they share the same facility, except in a tower, you'll be able to carry on with your own Tems with a few exceptions. The tower will feature a list of banned Tems, which you won't be able to use. The list will be changing on a weekly basis. Okay, so you'll need to constantly adapt your team. After your team is formed, the structure will be pretty much the same as a draft activity. Defeat an endless array of increasingly difficult rivals and juicy rewards on the way. Wild. A similar... this is cool. A similar infinite increasing difficulty destroying everything you can activity, but this time featuring untamed Tems. Instead of walking through the grass looking for encounters, Tems will constantly swarm you without letting you leave the battle. You'll either be able to enter with your squad, but you'll only be able to use a certain amount of items in the activity. You also have bonuses applied to these that change weekly. Oh no, okay, it's the next one that I was thinking of. Roguelite, this is sick. Explore an I literally said this is one of the things that I wanted them to add. Explore an ever-changing dungeon that will be randomly generated each time you enter. Start from scratch by getting a starter Temtem and explore the dungeon, getting new Tems and items as you progress. Will you be able to reach the end? This is something I've wanted to see. Like, basically just take Cerulean Ultimate and make it a post-game. That's cool. Lair. Last but not least, we're introducing a new activity related to the current lair. As you know, instead of reoccurring 5-man party, this activity will require playing cooperatively between just 2 players. You start by choosing a target Temtem species, and completing the lair will get you an egg from that species. Also, players will be able to tweak several difficulty modifiers, how many gems they need, how much healing, and stuff like that. All of these modifiers will change the prize egg, increasing SVs, moves, and even Luma odds. Bigger risk leads to better rewards, but try not to bite more than you can chew. This dude, This stuff has me pumped, okay? Oh my gosh, this stuff, this is pretty nuts. Okay, we've read a lot of feedback on how repeating activities infinitely can lead to too much grind and overall bad sensation of the activity, but we know these activities are going to be fun for many of the most dedicated users that will want to repeat them. So for Tamer's Paradise, we're trying a different approach. Each activity will require a token you'll need to spend to access it. Every user will get 5 tokens freely each week, one of each activity. Since the Arch Tamers will one will be left out of the token system. Okay. Regularly weekly based activities like dojo rematches, which will let you run. Okay. Activities rewards are balanced towards only running them once per week, so that should be enough for most users. However, tokens will be up for purchase using Pansons for those who are super dedicated and want to spend some extra time in Tamer's Paradise and convert their Pansons into new rewards. Okay, depending on how this is done, this could end up being kind of annoying. In the Battle Frontier in Pokemon, you could just enter, right? So I could see this getting, like, having to spend Pansons. Depending on how it's done. It's going to depend on how it's done. I can't make too many judgments just yet, but it's going to heavily depend how it's executed. Speaking of rewards, Tamer's Paradise will also hold a shopping center with new cosmetics, furniture, and useful items for all kinds of Tamers. However, Pansons aren't worth anything here. Instead, you'll need to use a new currency called Feathers. Okay, so that's what I mean. Like, if you're only able to play each facility once a week without spending money, if you want to grind for Feathers, you have to grind for Pansons first. So it's going to depend on how they execute this. Feathers, a new currency. We've been wanting to include a companion or counterpart currency to Pansons for a long time. We wanted this currency to be one that is more limited in quantity but allows purchasing more exclusive items, and Feathers are that currency. So it's basically like battle points. Starting on 1.0, players will be able to acquire Feathers almost for every activity, both new and old. Every activity in Tamer's Paradise will grant a good chunk of Feathers depending on your performance, and every activity in the game, say fishing, postal service, ranked matches, will have a fixed amount of Feathers added to its reward pool. Our goal with Feathers is to limit RNG factors associated with getting rewards. Apart from getting them in a more predictable way, you'll be able to spend them directly purchasing the reward you want to get, which leads to our next point: what can Feathers net you? Aside from featuring previously unavailable cosmetics and housing items like new exterior for your house, Tamer's Paradise Shopping Center will feature some items that you will be able to purchase directly using Feathers. Radars. Instead of praying to the RNG gods for a lovely Kaku radar, you will be able to choose and purchase a radar you want. That's good. The species appearance rate will impact the price of the radar, making the rare Tems more expensive, so we don't devalue them too much. With this, we are also instating the rare radars, aka 5% and 10% Tems. We know how much you've missed them. Telomere hotfixes. Let's say you've run 20 layers and you've gotten all the possible hotfix types with the exception of an attack one, which you'd need to, make your Luma Temtem perfect. What happens then? We've got you covered. Now, using Feathers, you'll be able to purchase the hotfix you need. Oh, okay, that'll let you change it. Okay. Telomere hacks and bugs. Less relevant than hotfixes, but still useful. You will be able to purchase hacks directly, and we're also introducing the concept of telomere bugs, a new telomere item system similar to hotfixes, but instead of increasing an SV from a Temtem, it allows you to subtract it. Oh, that could be good for maybe if there's like a Tem that needs like low speed for some reason. Essences. You already know about candies, fruits, and smoothies, but now we're introducing a new tier: essences. Fruit essences will add 100 TVs to the stat of your choice. Learning Aid Plus. On top of that, we're introducing a new and improved version of the Learning Aid, which will be purchasable with Feathers. This booster will give 3 times the experience as opposed to the 2 times from the regular one, and will also last 60 minutes instead of 30. That's pretty good. Soul Binders. The already mentioned mysterious and expensive new item that allows you to soul bind a Temtem, making them untradeable but letting you apply hot fixes to it even if you're not the original trainer. You'll be able to obtain these through Feathers. That's it for today. We hope you're super excited. And there you go. So that's day 4. Now we're going to hop into day 5, which is the final day. This is already exciting stuff. I've been excited for this post-game island, and I think based on how it seems, it should be pretty good. I need to see more with regards to like the tokens aspect, like how much Pansons is it going to cost. Like there's a lot of things in game that already cost a lot of Pansons. So the limit of like tokens per week is one thing I kind of think about. For me, it's probably not going to be a big deal because personally, like I'm probably not going to be playing that hardcore. but I could see it being an issue for like more hardcore players. But anyways, let's jump into the final day, day 5. Here it says so Golden Week of spoilers, day 5, economic improvements, kudo rewards, and the last breeder route. Hello once more, blah blah blah. Let's go to Pansuns. Pansuns, or lack thereof, and current activities. With the changes done in 0.9 and the inclusion of the auction house in the dojo park, we believe that the economy for Pansuns is in an adequate place currently. The inclusion of extra feathers as a reward for each activity represents a general improvement in rewards for all activities, since you will now get both RNG rewards and feathers to purchase the non-RNG rewards. This should help mend the biggest issue that was causing dissatisfaction amongst our players. We don't have any plans for additional changes there. However, there were some changes to other specific areas that we felt needed improvements. First, we're drastically reducing the price of cosmetic and housing items you get in the regular boutiques and furniture stores around the archipelago. These items have always been expensive due to a handful of reasons. Some of them being that we weren't entirely sure of how the Pansun economy would develop until 1.0, so we didn't want to make such an important part of the game too cheap. It's always easier to reduce the price instead of increasing it, and we also don't want players to spend too much during the campaign on cosmetic items and not have enough Pansuns to purchase more needed items like balms and Tem cards. Now, after finally being able to grasp the whole Pansun economy, and after reading a lot of feedback, we realized players don't care about spending their money if they're going to look prettier, so we decided to make this change. That's very true. We're also introducing more cosmetics and housing items as a part of our current loot pools. We're still reserving most of them for Tamer's Paradise shops and some for future cosmetic pass, but we managed to include some more variety in the current pool. Free Tem is also getting some changes. Our idea behind Free Tem was never for it to become an activity on its own, but to exist as a bonus for people already choosing the path of capturing new Temtem, mainly breeders. However, it has never been perceived as such. We're going to keep it, but we're basically cutting by half the time that is needed to receive item rewards. Currently, the cap for the last item is 400 to 450 releases, and we're turning the cap to 200 and adjusting the rest accordingly. We're not increasing Pansun rewards to accommodate this change, but we are now adding feathers as a reward for releases to compensate. That's good. Last but not least, we're finally adding rewards for completing kudos. Most of the kudos will grant feathers, and that's why we weren't able to grant rewards before. Some of them will also grant other more exclusive rewards like new cosmetics, housing, or titles. And I think everything they were saying is retroactive, so if you've already completed the stuff, you're good. The last breeder route. So this is Kickstarter stuff. If you're new here, first of all, hi, breeders are a backer tier in a Kickstarter whose perks included to design one Tem and one route each. We've slowly but surely been covering the process behind the creation of the Tems and routes, and today is the turn of Tudorzik, I think is how you say that, the breeder behind Purpoise and Lodal, and the route the Sea Queen's Aquarium. This new route will be added to the game in version 1.0. The initial idea was to have an underwater tunnel that you sort of essentially see in aquariums with the fish swimming over your head. One of the things he requested is that we have a camera place itself behind the players so that the tunnel's depth could be properly appreciated. We appraised the idea, but due to technical restrictions, we had to throw away the original iteration of the tunnel and explore other possibilities because the camera could not be shifted in Temtem. The tunnel made little sense because you'd never see the upper part of it. They even went as far as to send us another sketch of a different route idea, but eventually, after thinking thoroughly, we found a way to make the tunnel work that was complacent with the game's limitations. The idea was that instead of a round tunnel, we'd have one main pathway surrounded by gigantic tanks of water instead of walls. We also came up with the idea of adding an upper floor made of walkways, so you get two playable areas, one where the water surrounds you like an aquarium, and another one where the water is below you, as if a fishing area. We of course wanted to have their approval, so we created a stylized sketch that captured our idea. Here it is. They really liked the idea, so we moved further with it, and since he liked our idea a lot, we barely had to make any adjustments to it. We can move forward with the initial design. We chose Denny's for the site because the island's full of content already. It matched the aquarium theme to a T, and we like the idea of having a new route in the secondary zone in Denny's. We decided it should be nestled between the mountains of the northeast Denny's, connecting the route with the Solero River through some cabins. Oh, okay. I see what they're doing here. Adding a house there to connect it. Okay. Gameplay-wise, the route was conceived as something completely optional. The players could choose to explore once they obtain the surfboard. To reinforce this idea, all NPCs in this battle of the route are also entirely optional. They will only interact with you if you ask them to battle. My, how the tables have turned. Lore-wise, this made sense because we could picture all the NPC tamers as fishing folk who are trying to reel something in and are completely oblivious to you. Eyes on the line. Like you might have guessed from this, we decided to include all water-type Temtem species underwater in the aquarium, thus creating a wild area that is unique to the whole game, accessible only after you obtain the fishing rod. This looks pretty cool. I also like how they did the designs on the like for the underwater part, and very nice. And that's all for now. So that's the general wrap-up of the 1.0 content. We're a bit out of our depth with sharing things so openly so early on, but we believe that all these changes are really relevant to the final outlook of the game, and that it really shows the effect of your constant stream of feedback during early access we've had on the game, as well as our compromise to listen to it. We hope that these posts have helped assuage worries, sparked some excitement, and maybe even rekindled lost hypes. Although there are still a lot of details to and specifics to share, we hope that you have a clear understanding of what this huge patch should contain and what to expect from it. We're very eager to see you around Temtem Paradise on September 6th. Let's close off this week by flexing... wait, what? Let's close off this week by flexing a first look at what the world of Temtem might look like come version 1.0. Talk soon. Okay. Okay, I see. They're gonna make him a mount. That's jokes. Okay, cool. Yeah, so that's it. That is it for the whole Golden Week info dump. I'm definitely looking forward to this Tamer's Paradise, and I think Crema is really trying to like reduce the amount of like grind and like other issues that were present during early access. I had always said like, yeah, the game's grindy, but that could change, and a lot of people have been very critical of it. Some people are even just downright vitriolic towards the game. But there are like things can change before launch, and I think for a lot of people, like a lot of these changes will make massive differences in how they feel about Temtem and what their hype is. I literally had a video that I'm scripting as we speak. I'm still putting it together, and it's basically my top 10 like major releases in 2022 for the second half. Like this includes like major updates, stuff like that. I think Temtem was around number 5 because basically the reasoning behind it is, you know, I've played most of the game already. Yeah, we're gonna do a let's play. I'm excited for it. There's other stuff a bit ahead of it, but that's mostly just because like the stuff ahead of it's like really big for me. But now I'm even more excited, so I might have to reevaluate the order of that video, because like the amount of stuff that they're adding in the post game, like I knew they'd add stuff, but like this seems very significant. Like especially when we talk about like the Tamer's Paradise, they're gonna basically have the roguelite thing, which I'm really excited for. The where is it? Is it called? Is it draft? Yeah, draft, which is like the battle factory. How they're adding the feathers to make grind less. They're making cosmetics cheaper. Like they're doing a lot to make the game like a lot better than it was in its early access. And I still think Temtem's a good game, but it definitely had its issues. But I think that a lot of these issues will be completely rectified, and tons of people, probably more than even bought it on early access, are going to be playing this game come September 6th. And a lot of the complaints that a lot of the community had, people, especially people that have like fallen off, they're not going to be relevant anymore. So it's definitely going to be interesting to go back and replay the whole game and see how things have changed. We have more optional trainers. We have better cosmic arts. I was going to say cosmic, that's Nexomon. We have better Luma odds. We have just like better scaling. Like the co-op modes been tweaked. Like there's so much stuff that they're going to be putting together for 1.0. So I definitely think if you haven't played Temtem already and are going to get it on consoles, I definitely think you should pick it up, because the base game itself was still fun despite its flaws, but it looks like it's going to get like a major facelift. Anyways, all that being said, if you did enjoy the video, you want to stay up to date on Temtem, you want to see my Let's Play when it comes out of like the Nintendo Switch version, if you want to see just news, you want to get guides, breakdowns, all that fun stuff, subscribe to the channel because I put out new monster taming videos every single day. You can check out my Twitter, my Discord, my Patreon, all links below. Special thanks to our patrons, especially Jim Hamilton, Steel Case, Dro Ghost, and Dark Persona. And you can also check out the Temtem playlist that I have in the video cards as well. And with that, we'll see you guys next time. Peace.